Crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and welcome to a Thursday technique tutorial or project tutorial. Just depends on the day. So if you're joining me live, there'll be a live chat here, and if you're joining me archived, you won't see the chat, but you may see a little bit of me talking to people, welcoming people, and maybe answering some questions. I try my best to answer questions, but I do get a little involved in what I'm doing, so you can always contact me on Facebook private message or just in the Facebook group in general, the Quality Crafts group on Facebook, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions there that you might have if I don't get to them here. So hello Jane and Ashley and Jill. So glad you guys could make it. Yes, you're right on time. So the other day of the week that we do projects like this, if you're interested in this or maybe this is your first time finding my channel, would be Sunday afternoons from 2 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm located in Wausau, or Wisconsin, so everything's going to be Central Standard Time. And the other day that I do videos would be every Wednesday. It's a 10-minute card taken from mailbox to masterpiece in 10 minutes. And it's always a fun time because the stuff inside the envelopes, I have no idea what's in it. So we open the envelope together, we take a look at what's there, and then I set a timer for 10 minutes. So if that's something that interests you, you might want to check that out. I have a playlist set up of the 10-minute videos. So go ahead and go to my channel's main page and check that out. Oh, hey, Pam and Ashley. Who else is here? Jill Lucas, you made it. Eileen made it. Hi, Carol. Who else did I miss while I was yakking? So a couple other places that I'm always grateful for you guys to join in would be, hi, Tarita. One would be, oh, let me click on that. Okay, so one would be Patreon. And the levels of pledging start out at just $1 a month, which is super, super simple. Most people can do. So I would love it if you could support us here on the Quality Crafts family channel. And then another way would be to go to qualitycrafts.com, up in the right hand corner, clicking on store, and I've got stuff for sale there. And I know that I don't have a huge plethora of things because it's not my end goal to be a complete fully stocked store. So down below, if you keep scrolling past the categories and stuff, you'll find a lot of really cool, really awesome products that I highly recommend in Amazon links. And so I'm an affiliate through them. I get a teeny tiny commission if you use the link to buy crafty stuff, if you are so inclined, if you like what's there. If you go in any one of those links and you happen to buy underwear for your husband or toothbrushes or diapers for your baby, it doesn't matter what you purchase as long as you used one of my links. So I'm really always grateful to all of you guys who are using them. Thank you so, so much. Christmas time is coming up, so I do want to just say that if you could use my link for any Christmas shopping you're doing online, if you're going to use Amazon at all, that would be super cool, and I would be really grateful and appreciative of that as well. So one other place that you can check out that's linked to the community is the Quality Crafts blog, which is jensqualitycrafts.blogspot.com. And over there, we have a challenge every month, and we'll have a theme. So you enter the challenge, and then you could possibly be the winner of the digis that we're giving away, depending on who's sponsoring for that month. So head on over there. We would love to see a lot more people participating in that. It's super easy. If you don't have a blog, you don't need one. We'll give you instructions on how to enter that if you don't have a blog. So again, I would love to see more entries on that challenge blog over there, jensqualitycrafts.blogspot.com. So thanks to Kelly. If you're watching us live and you're in the live chat, she is in blue, and that is one of our moderators. So thanks for coming. And let's see. Oh, Dana, you made it. Did you have to set an alarm? I'm just curious. So I'm really happy you guys could come. Today we're working on a really super easy to make small mini album. It's a one-sheet mini album made from a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So I'm using a white cardstock. I don't know what the actual weight of it is. I'm going to guess it's probably around a 65 or a 90. It's not super, super thick like the regular cardstock I'm used to using, so you could probably use pretty much anything for this. Oh, Sandy, I'm so glad that you're ready for the hurricane. Holy Hannah, you people. That's frightening. I live in Wisconsin, so like the worst thing we have to worry about is like a tornado. And we just go in our basement and usually it passes within, you know, a half hour and we're done. No kidding, right, Carol? So everybody, if you're watching or not watching, prayer for you guys in Florida. And for those of you who can get out, please do. So cheers, guys. I'm glad you could join me. We've got 20 watching. That's super. It's a cold Thursday night here. If you're watching archived and you're wondering, why is this woman just blabbing on and on for 5 minutes? That would be because I always come on a little bit early. I like to chat with the people that are coming in from the Quality Crafts community. And I always start at 5 after. So if you're feeling like you want me to respect your time, totally show up at 5 minutes after, and then you don't have to listen to that if that's not your thing. I get everyone's got their own thing, right? So we just want to make sure that we respect everybody's time and, you know, where you're at with that. So 6:05 on Thursday evenings, I actually start the project, and on Sundays, the same thing, would be 2:05. But if you want to come in and chat with us, I would love to have you. Join us on Thursday nights from 6 to 7 and Sunday afternoons from 2 to 3. And don't forget about Wednesday. That starts at 5 and it's only a 10-minute video, so if you're late, you probably miss it. So check us out. So once I'm done making that card, I usually, you know, close down the video. You know what? One thing I forgot to mention is that if you send in an envelope for that, I create the card. That card does not get put in my stash. That card gets mailed back to you. So you have a handmade Jen Evers card using whatever it is that you sent in. So that's pretty cool. I think that's really fun. It is 6:05, so let's get started. This is what we're making today. It's going to turn out looking something like this. Now this, of course, is already all decorated, but all of these flaps come up, and these are all pockets. And you can decide how you want all of this to come together. But I'm a visual learner, so I like to see what the end game is. This is the end game. This is all decorated. It's got extra stuff. It's got stuff in the pockets. It's got extra little envelopes and things that I've created. I've taken some of this other stuff, and I just used regular ATG, so mine's coming apart a little bit because I've been playing with this a lot. Use double-sided sticky if you want yours to adhere forever and ever, amen. These are like popped up with some foam tape, and what else do we have? One more on the back here. So I decorated the entire back. You don't have to, but there's another little thing here too. I think there they are. They fell out. So there's some stuff tucked in here too. So you'll have to decide if you don't want things falling out of yours. You might have to put a little cover on it or whatever you want to do. But they all have little doodads and doohickeys, and everyone's going to be making these uniquely their own, right? So let's get started. I'm using Romance Novel Collection, if you're wondering, by Prima. I think this is really old. I don't follow paper collections. I just buy what I like when I can get it on sale, much like a lot of you guys. And then this one, look, I just hugged Liney, so I've got Liney hair all over. If you send in, that just reminded me, if you send in an envelope and I make the card and I'm sending it back to you, you are allergic to cats, like severely allergic, let me know so I don't send it to you. I mean, obviously I'm going to make sure there's no cat hair on it, but cat hair may have touched it. Cat hair touches me. I mean, just letting you know I have 2 cats. So if you're severely allergic, let me know. I've got all the score marks on this one, because I started to make this one just so, because I thought maybe you'd want to see what this looks like right before we start scoring. So what's going to happen is when we score it, we're going to have the big central panels here. We're going to have the skinny ones on the top. That's the part that folds down here. Okay, these things. But you know, they're going to get cut and all that good stuff. But that's what you're looking at here. And then the larger bottom part, those are the ones that are going to get folded up. So those are getting folded up and these are getting folded down. And then we're folding them in. But this automatically puts like what they call the like gussets, I guess they call them, of 1/4 of an inch in between here. So if you make these pockets, I'm going to show you a different way to make these pockets so that, see now if I try to lift up the other side, it's going to totally rip. If you want to make these pockets so you can fit a lot more in it than just a couple pieces of paper, I'm going to show you a trick on how to do that so that it can come out a little bit further. These are super, super tight because I glued mine straight down, but I'll give you a trick on how to do that if you want to be able to fit more in it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. Let's pull in our piece of paper. I'm going to do plain old white today. And there's just a little bit of scoring and a little bit of cutting. I thought I turned off the automatic function there. There, now I turned it off. The autofocus just tends to go crazy when you put white paper on. It's going to make everybody dizzy, so I'm just going to turn that off. Hi, Catherine. Hello from Arizona. Hello from Wisconsin. I probably missed a whole bunch of chatter there, but okay, let's get started. We're just going to do a couple of scores and then a couple of cuts, like I said, and fold it together and you're done. Voila. And then we'll get into some really fun tips and techniques and we'll start decorating this and see how far we get in our hour. So the first couple of score lines here are going to be, and make sure it's 12 by 12. So if you're pulling from a paper pad and it's got that extra little lip on it, make sure that you cut that off and make sure it is 12 by 12. Otherwise it's going to be kitty wampus on you. So 4.5 and 10. So those are the first two score lines on this. That's it, 4.5 and 10. 4.5, 10. You'll notice that I'm using a stylus instead of a bone folder. I really think that I get a better crease with these, and I'm using the little tippy end here. Now we're just going to turn it 90 degrees. You can already see that this is the little flap and this is the big flap. And now we're going to make those lines that we're going to be cutting off so that our album can fold in thirds. So it's going to be 3 7/8, and that's the teeny tiny line right before the 4, 3 7/8, and then 4 1/8, and it's the first teeny tiny line right after the 4. So basically what we're doing is we're scoring out 1/4 inch here by going 1/8 inch on either side of that 4-inch mark. So 3 7/8 and 4 1/8, and we need one more so that our whole album can fold in thirds. And so we're going to 7 7/8, which is that little teeny mark right before the 8. 7 7/8, and then 8 1/8. So that's going to be the little teeny tiny mark right after the 8th. Oop, mine just slid off there at the end. So let me go through those again. The very first scores we're going to do are at 4.5 and at 10. All right, 4.5 and 10. Turn it around 90 degrees, and then 3 7/8, the little mark right before the 4, and 4 1/8, the little mark right after the 4. 7 7/8, the little mark right before the 8, and 8 1/8, the little mark right after the 8. And that's it. That's all the scoring we have to do. So if I tilt it in the light, you should be able to see all those score marks there. The first two we made, and then the two little tracks we made, essentially. We made little 1/4 inch tracks. Now the parts that we're going to cut off today are going to be at the top and the bottom. We're going to cut off these two little shorty guys right here and these two longer guys at the bottom here. Okay, these middle ones we need intact. So if I lay this out, this will give you a good idea what this is. Okay, so that these can come down and we have this middle part here, we're cutting off these little lines here. And then these will flip down, but there's nothing in between them, so we're cutting these parts off right here. I hope that makes sense to you. Once I start cutting, I think that it will all come together and make sense. And I am getting cotton mouth already. Cheers, guys. All right. So let's start at the bottom. We're just going to cut right up the 2 score marks all the way up to the first score mark and stop. Okay, cut both of them all the way up there and stop. And then I just pull that up and cut it across. Now if you want to use a smaller scissor and you don't like the way that looks, you can trim that off a little bit closer than I did. And then we're going to cut off the other piece. If you guys are hearing beeping, it's because they've got our entire road. We're right in a corner. They've got the entire road all ripped up around the corner and down the road. And they work until 7 p.m. So you hear beep, beep, beep. My favorite part though is when they turn on one of the great big, the ones that like smash stuff down. I think that's the one that makes the most noise and it makes everything just rattle in the house. That's my favorite. What stinks about it is that they put a little drop off at the end of our driveway. Yeah, kind of mess up the bottom of your car every time you go over that. That's the only part that really irritates me. I don't really want my car to be damaged. I do want the road done, but and it's not just our car, it's everybody's. All the driveways are like that. So hopefully they'll be done before the snow flies because it is darn cold today. And it's not even fall yet. So all I'm doing is just cutting off these last two top parts right here. And then I'm going to give you a good look at this. So if you're following along with me, I hope that gave you enough time. If I turn it sideways, you'll be able to see this a little bit better. So here's the skinny edge. These are the flaps that come over. And then here are the ones that we're going to either glue down or, you know, do whatever you want with. And they're going to come up. And this one is really, really solid because as you can see, I put paper on all the front sides and all the back sides. So don't worry if the piece of paper that's 12 by 12 that you're using is a little bit flimsy because you can make it a lot more sturdy by just adding extra paper to it. And that's what I did. But, you know, take whatever you have. Oh, I think I even talked about the front. I think the front is really cool. I just found my favorite part of the paper and cut it down so that it fit on there. And then these little things I got from the paper pack. So this little pocket I got from the paper pack. This little envelope right here that's got things in it, I got that from the paper pack as well. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you what I mean. So if you don't want to have to worry about figuring out how to decorate this, get yourself, and watch for sales because these go on sale all the time. Get yourself a 6x6 like this that has extra stuff in it. Like, look, this one comes with little envelopes that all you have to do is just cut them out and fold them. And then all these extra cute little things that you can just cut out and use. That's all I did. And this is the easiest way to get a little album put together. So everything is matchy-matchy. All the little things come with it. All you have to do is cut them out. Let's see, there are a few more here. Here's some more really cool things. Like these are all the little tags and stuff that I put on mine. What else? Is there anything more? I think I cut out one of these little typewriters, like right here. I put that little typewriter and I popped that up on foam. I popped up this Unforgettable on foam. And I edged the edge with like a brown ink of some kind. And you can do that too. Like I left my edges all white and stuff. I like the look of that. If you don't, you can edge that in ink color or whatever you want to do. But seriously, like I'm going on and on because most of this is decoration. It's got nothing to do with being super hard to put together because we're done. We're totally done with this already. So these just flap up here. Where's my bone folder? That would make it easier. See, there's a lining here. These flaps just come straight up. So if you want one that looks just like mine, this is exactly how I did mine. I just glued mine straight up. Okay, and then you can come back in and clip off these little edges and make them a little cleaner. There we go. And then these ones just come right down. And now I'm going to show you the tips and tricks of how I decorated mine and all that good stuff. So that's it. And then they fold on all those little score lines for that little 1/4 inch gusset. You're just going to give a little fold on those. It's so easy. Like, I really was expecting this to be a lot harder than it was. And then you decide how you want yours folded. I folded the back in first and then the top over. And then it creates that little book and you've got, you know, that little 1/4 inch gap there for everything to go into it. So then starting to decorate it. Let me just go back to where all my little pieces are. So these little flaps, if you want to do the inside and the outside, okay, and I'm going to have to cut with you today because I didn't have pre-cut anything. I thought, you know what, we're going to have plenty of time to do that. I'm just going to pull out my cutter and we're just going to cut things as we go. So let me pull out my little trimmer here and I'm going to use this paper again. Same paper as I used before. In case anyone came in and missed it, it's the Romance Novel Collection by Prima. I don't follow paper trends, so I think this was probably popular several years ago, most likely if I have it. And I'm just going to pick what pages that I think look really cool. Now this would probably be a really neat one for the front, but it all depends. Here's the one I did in the front before, which is, it looks really similar to this, but it's totally a different paper. But I really like this little typewriter here. I think that's super cool. So the flaps. If you want measurements, all of these measurements will be available afterwards on my blog. But you can always come back and rewind and watch it and rewind if you're looking for things like that. But on my blog, it'll be a lot easier to find, a lot quicker. So the flaps are going to be 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, so 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. And you're going to need 6 of them if you're going to do front and back. Now, when I did mine, I don't know how crazy I'm going to get with this. Oh, can you hear that? They started up the one that jiggles the whole house. That's awesome. So if you look at this, you can tell that I did this flap and this page the same, this flap and this page the same, and then the center one was different. And then if you flip this one over, this one's totally different. And then the back is completely different, and the front was just what I wanted it. So please, please take whatever you have in your paper stash and just make yours crazy cool and uniquely your own, because I would love to see a bunch of these over at the Quality Crafts group on Facebook. When I'm done here, I will go over there and set up an album. I'll put in a picture probably of this one, and then you guys can put your makes in there as well. Something just fell. Oh, it's so crazy. So let's just get started. I'm just going to start picking papers and putting mine on. Let's see. So I like to pick papers that, you know, the part that hits the floor, or it's the ground, or it's the table, like it's always going to be put down like this. I like to pick the papers like this that aren't as fancy to be like the back. You know what? Let me give you all of the measurements first, because I don't know how I want to go about this. I thought I would do the flaps first, but then I thought maybe I'll do the back. All right, let's decide what we want. So this one I'm going to do for the back, and then I'll go step by step and do cutting with you. I think that'll make it simpler. Oh, here's another one. Look at this. Look at the cool things. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one for decorating at the end. Look, it's got this little beautiful thing here, and then this is an envelope that you put together. And then all these other little tags, and then a perfect day that could go on there. Look at these little tags you can cut out too. Lots of fussy cutting, so if you don't like that, skip it and do your own thing. You know, there's so many different things that you can do. I'm going to pull that out because I really like it. And then, oh my gosh, this one is so fun too. Yeah, this is a really fun paper line. Super fun. All right, what do I want on the inside? This is really pretty. I do want this on there. So let's pull that one out. And I think we can get, we probably won't get 2 out of that. So we need 1 for each one of these. So maybe this one for there. But you can get the, okay, so if you're doing 6 by 6, you can get this front flap and this flap out of 1 6 by 6. I'm almost positive. We will double check as I cut. Because like I said, you don't need to follow exactly what I did on mine. You're just going to take the measurements, find the paper that you like, and just go nuts. That's the best way to do it. Whatever makes you happy. And I've got a lot of these, so I'm going to use this one as my double and put that one over here. So I have 1 here and 1 here. And I just need 1 for the middle here, and then 1 for the tippy top, which, didn't I already pick that out? I think I did. I'm sorry if I wasn't in frame. I thought I was flipping in frame, but I could be wrong. Where's that one with the, oh, you know what, let's do that one. Here's the one I wanted for the front. So that's going to be my front. And where's that other one? Let's do like a darker, yeah, let's do this one in the middle. Wow, you know what, I played with lining just before I came on here. Look at all the hair. Oh, he sheds. All right, let's see how this turns out. My goodness, we got everything falling. We're having an earthquake. Just kidding. They're just working on the road outside. Just in case you missed the beginning of the video where I told you that they were working on the road outside, don't freak out. We're not, nothing's happening. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut. We'll do 1 of these at a time because they're all the same, right? We're going to have 3 of each, all the same, except the back. So let me rewind. We're going to have 6 of the flaps because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, both sides. And then these flaps right here, 1, 2, 3. And then if you flip it over, these are slightly longer than the flaps, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, does that make sense? So let's start with this one, and these are, I'm just gonna double check. I've got everything written down on the side, but you know, I'm always afraid I'm gonna make a mistake. So it's 3 3/4, 3 3/4, and I'm leaving like a little edge. So you see, like I butted mine almost up to the edge, so there's a very, very tiny. So let me make sure that I've got all these, if I did this correctly the first time. 3 3/4, and it should be 5 3/8. No, that's the top one. 4 3/8. 4 3, no. 5 3/8. Yeah, 4 3/8. Okay, so that'll work. I'm gonna write this down for you because you're probably going like, what in the what is going on, Jen? And I'm a little distracted. 3 3/4. And if you're a visual learner, this will help. And 4 3/8. Okay, so that is for the first 3 fronts. We're going to do those first, okay? 3 3/4 by 4 3/8. Now, remember, if you're going to go up and down this way and you don't want your paper to end up looking like this, going sideways, just remember that you want to cut the short end this way. So we're going 3 3/4. I'm going to make sure that mine's up this way and go 3 3/4, because I just want to make sure that I'm not cutting this the wrong way. So 3 1/2, 3 3/4. Okay, so that's going to be how wide this is. And then the other one is 4 3/8. So if I want this part to be on there, I'm going to have to scoot it down, and I'm going to have to cut off this end. 4 3/8, and I need my arm out for that. 4. That's 4. 3, 4. It's 4 3/8. I just want to make sure this one, if you're using this trimmer, there's like, it jumps off onto the arm, and you have to make sure that you're looking at the right spot. So I just want to make sure I don't cut this wrong. If I cut this wrong, c'est la vie, we'll make a happy accident out of it. But oh, here comes Liney. I think he got a little scared. 4 3/8. 1, 2. I can't tell on here where it is. I'm going to use my fingernail just so I don't mess this up. I usually use my big trimmer, which is why I'm having kind of a little issue with this one. So it should be somewhere around there. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Silly me. So 4 3/8. Yeah, see, it's like just off the edge here. It's really hard to see on this trimmer. Let's go ahead and cut it there. Check it out. Make sure it's the size you want. That looks pretty darn close. I could probably cut off just a smidge more, but it's really, really close, and so I'm going to keep that there. Now, if you don't want to keep cutting and cutting, or you don't want to keep measuring, you could go ahead and just cut this out by matching them up. I think I'm going to do that since it might be a little quicker. So this one and this one, this is the one that I want for the other side. I'm just going to hold them together and just cut with my scissors. That, because I already know this is the right size. Oh my goodness, they must be working right outside the house today. Shake, rattle, and roll. How much of this can you guys hear? It's crazy over here. I might just cut off a smidgen off the end of those, but just so we can see, those will work. And then I want this one. Maybe we want to put that on. That's really cute in the corner. Let's keep that. This might be an easier way for beginners too, to make sure that it's going the right way, and that, you know, when you put the paper over the top, you're going to get what you want. Because let's say you want this in the corner. Then you can say, okay, I want that in the corner, so I'm going to move this piece into this corner and cut here. Yeah, that's like way easier. Then you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, my measurements and my paper, and is it going up or down? Yeah. Super good. Save all your scraps, so don't throw those out. Because we should be able to get something from those to do the flaps. So don't throw them out. Keep all these little L's. LL, we got one more. Oh, I cut that one off, but that's okay because we were trimming. And then I'm going to use those for the flaps. I don't really care whether my flaps are going up or down. That's not important to me. If it is to you, you might want to grab another piece of paper. So here's my one that's going to go in the middle. I'm just going to bring up my flap and make sure that flap is just a teensy tiny bit smaller. So I probably just cut a little scrape off. So make sure you double check all of your trims and that it looks the way you want to. If you want more of a white outline, then cut more off. If you want to cut it, so that it exactly matches, then what I would do is lay your paper underneath each one, okay, and then trace it. If you don't want any white showing, that would be a good way to do it. Cut it down and trace it. I'm not going to do that though. I just want to make sure that this one fits, that I'm happy with the way that one looks. That looks pretty darn good. And I remember I said I wanted to trim these guys off just a tad because I want that little white border. I just really like it. I don't know why. So I want to make sure that I cut off just a little bit off the bottom of those. And then they should be good to go. Again, these are 3 3/4 by 4 3/8, and we need 3, just 3. Okay, and now we're going to cut for the flaps, and we're going to try to use up the rest of these little L's here, so we're not wasting all this paper. And the little flaps are only 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. So the long side is 3 5/8. 3, 4, 5. 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. 1 7/8. It's the one that almost just before the 2. Okay, so hopefully that will be a good fit, and it is. If you want yours a little bit longer, you can. Oh, you know what? And I cut my corners, but we'll handle that after we do this. So we need 2 more of those. Well, actually, we need, like, we're going to do both sides. So we need, oh, darn it, I got to bring this into frame for you guys. I'm sorry. So we need 3 for this side, and then as our flaps come down, we need 3 for this side as well. So technically, we need 6. So there's 1, and these 2 match. The other side, you can make it whatever you want to make it. But for right now, we're just trying to make sure that these match. Got a little extra here, so I'm going to hold on to this because I might want to make a pocket out of that. You never know. This one's probably too small. Yep, move that out of the way. And now we're going to use this one, so we'll get the same pattern as this one. We can go ahead and just line these up and cut. That way we don't have to remeasure. I love easy. Oh, it finally stopped, whatever they were doing. Okay, and then 1 for here. So let's just go ahead and use this one as a template so we get a measurement. It's not going to get this whole thing, and I don't want just the rear end of it. So I'm just going to go up to the top here and take this piece and line it up and cut it. I have like completely, with the distraction of outside, totally missed everything you guys have been talking about in chat. I hope you're having a great time, and if you are, please give this video a thumbs up on your way out, or right now if you have a moment. Because that is something we always forget. Because lives, we're not like, you know, it's not like you're watching it archived and you have the little thing right there and whatnot. So if you think of it, give me a thumbs up if this is something that you really enjoy and you want to see more of it. So we've got some scraps here. I'm still going to hang on to this because I might want to use this later on to do like some little, you know, embellishing and whatnot. So those are going to fit there. That'll work out. So let's just go ahead and glue these down. Not the top, not the flaps, because I want to show you some tricks for that. But these guys we can, because we know we want this on here. Unless you're gonna, let's say you don't have a lot of pattern paper, but you have a lot of like white paper or like just plain colored paper. Go ahead and use your colored paper and do it through some embossing folders. That way you'll get like a different pattern on each one. It will look really super cool. So that's another idea for you guys to do like some embellishing on it and stuff. So give that a try. So we'll go ahead and stick these guys down first. Now, there you can use these pieces of paper as another pocket on top of here. So if you want to do that, then you're going to want to make sure to maybe just cut a little bit off or cut a little half circle here or something so that you can get under inside of it. So there's just a gazillion ways, and I know I'm going to get 100 different comments about how I coulda, shoulda, woulda done this. But please take the simple tutorial on how to create that base and go crazy with what you guys have at home and all your great ideas, because you do all have great ideas. And then don't forget to go over to the group, the Facebook group, and post your make in that album. I'll be setting that up as soon as I'm done here. And then I'll be going over to our blog and I'll be posting all of these measurements. Now that I did double check and make sure that everything was correct. These little flaps were 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. And they fit good. Although they have a little bit of more of a white border. So if you're not a white border kind of crafter, then make yours a different size. You know, make it bigger or make it smaller for whatever your taste is. I'm going to set these up here because I want to put a little rounded edge on these. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So if I open this up, you notice that my tabs, my little flappy doos here, they have little rounded edges. So I want to do that with my second book here. So I'm going to get my rounder. And then, oh, flippy doo. I bet Penny's not here to see me flip my hair. She thinks that's funny. I'm going to go ahead and round these off. And you don't have to do this, but, you know, maybe you like the look of it. I need to turn this around. I'm so used to doing this towards myself that doing it facing the other direction feels really weird. They must have moved on to the next house because I could still hear it, but it's not right on top of us, thankfully. Alrighty. And then you're like, well, what about the tabs, Jen? Well, we've just round the corners of the tabs too. So the tabs that are going up, let me make sure I got this. Yep. Then we're going to cut those. And then let's just double check. Yep, see, they match up. Awesome. I always put them back on there to double check if you're just not sure. You know, you want to make sure they're going the right way, the way you intended them to go. Just double check. Never hurts. Measure twice, cut once, right? Okay, so now if you want paper coming out here and you don't want this white here, or if you see, if you open up the flap, there's a whole piece of white here. You can also leave these flaps up and put something in here. Okay, to cover that up if you don't want that all white. This is really too tight to put those in there. I'm not going to put them in there right now. Also, we're going to glue those down in just a sec. Also, you could put a big piece of paper on here and cover this up. Put a piece of paper to cover up this. And you could leave this, all of them actually, as flip downs for a photo and a photo. Or a photo and some writing. That kind of a thing. And then they would all flip back up. And you don't have to put pockets in at all if you don't want to. So you could do that. So this would flip up. You know, so whatever you guys decide to do, you could even flip this one back and make a short pocket. Okay, you could cut a triangular piece off or just fold this back and make a triangular pocket. Whatever you like the look of, because we're all so different and that's really cool. Go for it and do it your own way. Now, if you're a beginner, then I would just suggest doing something really simple. Like making them all a pocket or just leaving them like this and making them all flip down. Whatever works the best for you. because my goal is to make this easy enough for you guys to make, and so that you feel successful when you're done. And you will. You can do it. Oh gosh, you could ink around all this stuff too, but I'm not going to ink around all this today. But you definitely can, because I know like some shabby chicers really like inking stuff up, and it turns out super cool. I'm not really a shabby chicer, so like this kind of paper that I'm using today is a little bit outside my comfort zone. It's not like I can't work with it, but you know, that kind of thing. I am going to show you the expanded pocket. Yeah, I'm just going to show you a real simple way to make it a little bit bigger, just so you can fit a little bit more in there. Oh, I love your idea, Cynthia. Inside the pockets, she said you could place inspirational messages. That's an awesome idea. Yeah, like this does not just have to be for putting photographs in. It could be for whatever you want it to be. This could be like a super duper like deluxe greeting card if that's what you want it to be. Do whatever you want with it. You know, it's going to be really cool. So I still need to do some flaps on this side here. So I think I'll probably just pick another couple pages that, oh, and by the way, I did this kind of the wrong way, but it not the wrong way. There's really no wrong way to do it. But if you were looking for me to do it this way, where this flap matched that, I should have put those on the outside technically so that they did match. Now they're actually matching on the inside, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter. I still have a whole pad of paper here that we can go through and do all that stuff with. So let's go ahead. We did the measurements for those. Let's just go ahead and flip this over, because we're going to have to do these 3 tabs anyway, but we've already done the measurements. And do the measurements for these 3 big long pieces. And that is, the measurement for those is 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. Now the little short ones on this side were an inch shorter, so they were 3 3/4 by 4 3/8. This time we're going up to 5 3/8. So 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. I'm going to start with this one because this is the one I want for my very back. I want this on the back right here. So let's go ahead and cut this one. We'll measure this one and then we'll use it as our tracer. Okay, 5 3/8, which means I need to extend the arm. 5 and 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, you know what? I want this to go up and down, so I need to go this way. 5 3/8. And I want this part to be saved, so I'm going to put that part in the cutter. 5 3/8. Oh, I'm glad I caught myself because I want this to be going the right way. Okay. By 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 is going to be how wide that little piece is. 3 3/4 right there. Save this piece for the flap. We could do a flap with that because there's probably enough there. And double check that this fits down the whole way. And it does, but this one in the middle is slightly skinnier. Remember when we shaved off some on the other one? So I'm just going to go ahead and shave off a teensy weensy bit. Probably not even 1/8 of an inch. So you could totally put that on exactly the way it was, but I want that little white border. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's use this as a tracer. Now, this one, let's check it out. If we fold this in, this one and then this one right here is going to be my front. So I want this one for the front. And so I want this bottom corner, so I'm going to go ahead and put this right on the bottom corner and cut that out. And then I can use this for another flap if I want. This piece that we have left over. I did a crooked job cutting that. I bet it'll still look okay. Let's double check. Oh yeah, that totally fits. Okay, that'll work. This one's going in the middle. I just need one more for that last flap. So we're going to have to pick out one more sheet. do, you know what, we could move this one over and we could do this dark piece. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do that really dark piece in the middle for like the very back. I hope some of you guys do make this because I think that it would be really fun to see all the different kinds that you come up with. Okay, and we can glue those down and then we'll have to come up with some other little flaps. Just checking my time. I just want to make sure that I do have a little bit of time here to show you that pocket so that you can get stuff in it. Because if you glue it straight down like I did, you won't be able to fit much in it. This is the skinny one. Oh, that fit really good. Oh, I tell you, I went back to work full time. I really missed the summer. I'm so tired. Instead of shutting everything off at 8, I've been shutting everything off at 7, and I'm out like a light. So that'll probably happen as soon as I'm done with this and I get the blog and all that up. I'm going to go straight to bed. Now, if you look really closely at mine, there's an extra wide lip on these, so you can make these a little bit wider if you want. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So there's an extra little wide part here. I made mine a little wider on the other one. So I don't know, did I not follow that exactly? I maybe just went out another 1/8 of an inch. But this will totally work. Again, you might be putting something totally different on here. Maybe you're putting a diagonal piece, or maybe you're putting a half and half piece, or whatever you're going to do with it. You might even be doing all of the inking of the edges, which in that case wouldn't matter at all. So let's go ahead and use some of our leftovers to create a couple of flaps here. I can't remember what the flaps were again now. 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. So let's go ahead and do this one. 3 5/8. I think I want this way. Yeah. Okay, 3. Oh, that's 4. Almost went too far. 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. And that's the mark just before the 2. Oh, that didn't quite cut all the way to the end. I'm so tired. This will match this one, so that's where I'm going to put that one. So let's go ahead and make sure that we cut off the ends. And I am getting close to almost 10 too, so I'm going to make sure. I'm going to glue this one down and maybe skip those couple of flaps so that I can play around with the pockets on the other side for you guys to show you what to do to make your pocket a little bit easier to get stuff into. But I really like this one. So let's just go with that for sure. So cute. So I'll do these ones later. Let's talk about these pockets here. I'm going to move all my extra stuff to the side because when I'm done here, I'll probably be finishing this up off camera. It's just, these take a long time to decorate when you're trying to decide what you want and if your paper is going to fit and all that stuff. And I need one more drink. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming. Hey, as long as I have you here, I'd like to see some little hearts or emojis in the live chat if you want to see an upcoming digi. One that hasn't been released yet that's still in its sketch stage. Let me know if you want to see one and I'll show you one before I go here. I'll set it down. You can buy an anti-static hand thingy too, or you can make one out of a sock like I do and put baby powder or cornstarch in it. Just get a little baby sock. This is a regular sock that I would wear. And then just tie the end off and chop it off. And then you've got one. I have a video on this, by the way, if you're looking for that. The other one that you can buy, which I think I have one, is an embossing buddy, and it looks like this. I just got a quick snippet of your conversation. So this is a regular embossing buddy. You know what? This one smells like baby powder too. So who knows? Maybe that's what they put in it. I don't have a clue. B12, huh? Well, I'm not sure that it's that I need B12. It's just that I've gone from being a very sedentary lifestyle all summer, working on this business, being here with you, doing videos and that kind of thing, to running around chasing kids for 7.5 hours straight nonstop. No, I take a half hour for lunch, so I lie. 7 hours nonstop. So there you go. There you have it. So I needed some little white paper. Let's see if I got some. I don't want a thin piece though. I want cardstock. Oh, I see emojis coming out. You guys want to see one of my... I got some cardstock here. This is what I'm looking for. Something heavier. Okay, so there's going to be a release of owls sometime. I have no idea when, but here's one of them. And he's not inked yet. He's just a drawing. Ta-da! So let me know what you think of him. If you like, do you like owls? Because I think owls are really cool. So let me know if you like him. And now I'm going to go for these pockets to make sure that it comes out a little bit. I think I'm going to put this one down as a pocket just as is. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this out. How long is this one? 4 1/4 will be good. It doesn't have to be exact, just enough to cover, you know, that part. So 4 1/4. You could even cut a circle in the top like this. I don't want to do it because I really like this right here, so I don't want to mess that up. Maybe I'll do it on another one. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that on this one. So you just kind of eyeball it and put it like in the center where you think the center is. And that way you can like get the stuff out of there because there's a little give in there. And then, what did I say, 4 1/4? Let me double check. Yes, 4 1/4 will work. So cut your paper. I don't even know what you call this because mini albums are not my thing. Cut this at 1/2 inch. Well, 4 1/4 first. What am I thinking? 4 1/4 first. That should be 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch. Oh, that's so hard to do. 4 1/4. 3 3/4. There we got our 1/2 inch. Yeah? 2 quarters. Okay. If this is too tiny for you, go ahead and do a full inch and then cut it at 1/2 inch. But this way you'll get 1/4 inch on either side. So you put it in your trimmer and you give it a score down the middle just so that, or fold it in half if you're really good at teeny tiny stuff like this. Like I said, you can make this a whole inch. So this one is 1/2 inch, and if we fold it, it's 1/4 inch. Or we can make it a full inch. Let's check this one out. How big is this one? Whoa, that's more than 1 inch. Let's cut this one off at 1 inch so you can see the difference. So if you want to do a whole inch and then slide that into 1/2 inch so you can get a nice score down the middle. They don't have to be perfect. Don't worry about that. And then fold it. Okay, this is what you're looking for, is something like this, just to give your pocket a little bit more give. You can also do an accordion style if you want. So this, you can use a wide one like this if you need something more to grip onto. You can do a little tiny one like this if you want. And all you're going to do is glue this down on the sides near the edge, like right here and right here. Okay, and then your pocket is going to glue right down on top of it like that. And that way it sticks up. And it's hard to see on the thing. Let me go ahead and glue this down. I'd like to have two that are the same size. So why don't I cut another one at the 1/2 inch? No, I mean at 1 inch. Scored at a 1/2 inch. So 1 inch at 1 inch in half. Okay, we'll go with the bigger ones. Now, if you want this to stay forever and ever, amen, use the sticky tape. I did not do that this time. I probably should have. I'm going to use my HHD tape anyway, just for the video. Or use some wet glue, because that would work famously too. And that way it's not going to fall apart on you. I think I'm going to put mine right on the pocket itself. No, it's not going to come over the edge of your pocket, and it's not going to come over the edge of this fold. So that's where you want to put it, is in between there. Be careful with that. That makes a big difference. And however close to the edge you put it is how much extra room you're going to have for your paper going into it. So if you glue this down, you put it like way in like this, then whatever's going to fit in your pocket is going to fit between these two, and it's only going to be that wide. So you want to make sure that you get as close to the edge as you possibly can. Depending on what look you're going for, I guess. But that would be my preference. So we're going to go ahead and put this one down. Make sure that we don't get too close to that edge of the fold. And make sure we don't go over the end of the actual flap. Okay. So then when you measure the piece that's going to go in here, you want to make sure that it's slightly smaller than this whole piece, because otherwise it's not going to slide in there. It cannot be the exact same size, because now we've kind of stolen a little bit, like maybe 1/8 or 1/16 or 1/32 of an inch or something like that. You just want to make sure of that. So if you glue these there, then all you have to do is put your glue or your adhesive, whatever you're going to be using, on this side, and then shut the flap, and that's all you got to do. So we're going to go ahead and put that down. And I got a little bit of adhesive right there. HEG tape is really easy to get off if you just rub on it. And then it almost like pops out a little bit. Let's see if, I'm going to try to put this up so you can see it. Do you see how it's like, it's gapping? Instead of the other ones where if I glued it straight down, there would be no gap. This is gapping out a little bit. This is going to make it way easier for you to put stuff in there. Let me show you on this one too. Okay, so this, where these are super tight, there's no gap there. Very little. Okay, but when you put the little things in there, then you've got some gapping going on. You can really see that gap. And then you can slide stuff in there. Look at that, not a problem. So let's just look at the difference here. This is my one we just made with the gap. I don't know. The gap maker. I don't know what you call it. The expanded pocket. It was Elise. Thank you. So it comes in and out of there really easily. And this one it's just really tight, you know. So if you want that ease, you know, if you're giving these to the elderly or, you know, just anybody who has fine motor, just make sure that you do that. It just works out so much better. So yeah. That's really cool. I'm going to try not to be one of those people that constantly like finishes every sentence with like, so yeah. Oh, okay. So I've got a couple more flaps to finish, obviously, and there's a lot more decorating I could do on here. Like I said, go ahead and just pop things up like this, ink around the edges, find little embellishments and things. I was going to use this today, but we're running out of time. How about we say, we're going to wrap it up here because we're just about to 7. I need to go to bed. If you want to see a continuation of this one in a second part to this mini album, just let me know. Like, how about if you just put in some, whatever, put in some emojis or some hearts or something. Let me know if you want to see the rest of this in another one. I can do that. Otherwise, I'll be moving on to my next idea in the next video, so let me know. Maybe I'll put up a poll in KTC. So if you're new and you've never been to Quality Crafts on Facebook, please join us over there. If you love what I do here and you enjoy my videos, join me on Patreon. The pledges start at just $1 a month. Super easy. And you can find everything, all of the measurements on our blog after we're done here. You can put pictures of what you made over in our album on Quality Crafts in the group. Join us on our blog so that maybe you'll be a winner. What else do I want to mention before I go? The ending is so much harder than the beginning. Oh, sweet. Okay, so if you guys do want to see the finishing of this, then I will save all of our scraps and this sheet that we were going to use, and I'll put this in another spot so that I have this when I come back. I think that would be really fun. There's so much more you can do with the mini album. It's just crazy. And we will do that. Do I have extra stuff here? I have this extra stuff too? Maybe that came from the other one. I don't remember. Let's just put that in the pile too. We can use that up. So yeah, you guys have the great rest of your night too, Cynthia. That's awesome. I really had a good time with you guys here. I hope that you'll stop at Patreon. I hope that you'll join our community group because it's super fun and we inspire each other all the time. Again, if you do join us on Patreon, you also get into the next level of the private group, and that's the only way to get into that one, to see what we're doing in there. And let's see. Continue. Okay, I think it's pretty unanimous that you guys would really like to see this one. Christmas. Yes, continue. What a fun project. Christmas ones. Christmas ones? Okay. Christmas we can do. Okay. All right, so then I will see you. Let's see. Today's Thursday. So the next one that will be live will be Sunday at 2 p.m. I hope to see you there because I can't wait to see you guys next video.